Hey everyone, welcome again to Tech Makers. Today I want to show you how to connect your Lovable project to a GitHub repository, and I will explain why this is very, very important. So here we have a Lovable project that I started, and I built this entire app. This is not completely done, but I built without having to actually prompt. What I did was I took an idea that I had, I sent to ScopesFlow, which is this app here. I'll show you. And then it created a scope for my project and also created a user flow for my project. Now here we can see this is the scope. If we go zoom in and we'll see the features, we have the pages where these features are being used. We have the APIs that we should use for this project. So the only thing that we need to do is just add a description, and then um, ScopesFlow will build for you the scope. It will also build the user flow. And once you have this done, you can add stuff, you can remove, you can change the APIs that you would use. You can change the name of the pages, the name of the features. You can use either you can do it manually by adding the nodes and editing the nodes, or you can just ask to share in the chat, and the chat, the AI will build it for you. Okay. But what is important for us today is once you have the scope figured out and you have also the user flows, you come here to the build sequence. Okay. And then with the build sequence, what it will do, ScopesFlow will generate for you all the prompts that you need to build the app from the foundation. So we have two main prompts that are always generated independently of the type of the app that you're building. So we have the foundation. Foundation is always the first prompt that you use it either on Lovable or under AI tools. This foundation will give the AI the proper idea that you want to build, not just the brief idea, the brief description that you can get using ChatGPT or whatever. We will always use what you have built manually or jamming it with the AI. It will send the description of the idea. Will give the solution that you're trying to bring to the market that your app is bringing. It will give the requirements, so the pages, the features, the APIs. It will also give a brief UI guide where you can all add references, or you can just leave the AI figure out what is the best UI for this specific type of app. And then once you have all this done, you can just call this prompt, send to Lovable. You have other the foundation, have other foundation prompts here. Usually you have just one more than the main one, which is the off. The off is very important because I see a lot of people started putting their apps. They don't know that they need to figure out how the off will work first, because we want always every single piece of data in our app to be connected to a user. And usually not just by using the default values of created by this user, but always connecting to the user depending on the way that we want to display or create our privacy rules. So we can have organizations, we can have a user that can have multiple users that they are allowed to see their own data. So we want to figure out the authentication first. Okay. Then we have all the other prompts here. The pros are always connected to the nodes that we created in our scope or a user flow. And it can be showed in here, or these just hide it into the prompt. But what is important is just the prompt that is using the actual information that you delivered to the to ScopesFlow. Okay. But going back to what we came for, what we came for, here you have a relevant project. You did a bunch of stuff. You have you added other prompts. You changed the UI. You did what you wanted to do. Now, what you want to do is just take this and send to, let's say you want to send to a developer, but this developer don't use Lovable. They don't want to use Lovable. Or you simply want to host your project in another hosting platform. You want to use Vercel, for example, or Netlify. And the best way to do this is connecting to a GitHub repository. If you don't know what GitHub is, um, just Google GitHub, or here in YouTube, you can find a lot of videos talking about this. It's not something that is simple to explain to non-technical people, but if you watch a video, you'll be okay. But what is important is that GitHub will be your main source of the truth for your code base. So it doesn't matter if you change in Lovable or a developer change from Cursor or VS Code. Every time that someone do change on the app, they just push this change to GitHub repository. Then you will have all the code for your app. You can have multiple branches, so you can have one branch that is for your main branch, one is for testing, one is for beta users, one is for early adopters for new features, and whatever you want to do. Okay, is the way you use to manage the code of your app. Okay, this can be something that is just okay. We are just over engineering here, but this is very important. No matter what the step that you are in the moment. Okay, having your code in multiple platforms is something I'm very how can I explain this? I'm very careful with my code. So every time that I have a lot of code, I always do. I live in Lovable or other AI tool. I have my GitHub repository, and now I just download my code every time that I do a big change. Okay, but you can stick with GitHub; that will be fine. You just need to come here. So here, Lovable, we have a Lovable project. Here we have this button here, right beside publish. You have here to sync your project to GitHub. If you don't have GitHub already connected, you will have to connect to GitHub off. Then you just need to click here, connect GitHub. What the Lovable will do, it will just create a new repository for your project. Okay. So here we have the my connected account. Here we had we're in our settings now, but here we have status here that is not connected to any GitHub repository. If I click here, I can select my organization. You can have multiple organizations. So now you have your own projects. You have you work for a company, so you can choose here which one that you want to use. Click here. Here will give you a disclaimer just saying that you're setting up a two-way sync, which is basically saying is just that it will not live only in Lovable anymore. Your code will live in GitHub, and every time that you do a change in, let's say, Cursor, it will push, and then you push to your GitHub repository. Lovable will automatically pull these changes from GitHub to your Lovable project. Okay, so they're not independent anymore. You can have multiple branches, and it can work in multiple branches in GitHub, but here this project will be connected to only one branch. Usually they create a branch called main, so your main branch will always be connected to your Lovable project. So no matter what you do, if you push commit, push changes to your main branch, it will always be synced with your Lovable project. So if you don't want that, you need to create another branch that I can bring in another video. That is not the goal of this one, but just you don't need to worry about this very red button here. You're not losing your project. You will not. You will always. This is just a way for Lovable to say, hey, make sure that you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Okay. But it is not saying, oh, I'll lose my project. You will not lose your project. Okay. Click here, transfer anyway, and then we'll be connected to a new, brand new repository. So here um, we have our the link, the HTTPS of our project. So if we click here, view in GitHub, you can see that we have all the code we have here the main branch. We see here all the commits. We have all the commits here from that what were committed by Lovable. So you can see the history, you can see the code, you can see everything that you wanted here now leading your on GitHub. Okay. So coming back here to Lovable, what I'll do, I will explain out why this is important. So this is important because, like I said, you can have multiple people working in multiple in different tools. So just don't need to stay only in Lovable. Usually, I use Lovable mostly for UI and some features that require more product management knowledge from the AI, which is Lovable is trained very well to be your to understand what you're trying to do. So this is why I use Lovable, and I don't think any other tool matches what Lovable can do when we are trying to build something that we not sure yet, or we are pretty sure what we want, and I just want to tell Lovable what to do, and Lovable will do for us. We'll plan, we'll do everything for us. Okay. And if you're a non-technical person, you can trust Lovable. Lovable has been uh, evolving all these months or this year they were launched, and it's just amazing what you can build in Lovable today. Um, Another reason to connect your Lovable project to your GitHub is that now you can connect your GitHub repository to ScopesFlow. And this is something that for me is important. I use ScopesFlow in all my projects. And when you connect to a GitHub repository, what you can do is you can analyze your repository to see first to see if what you're building is matching the code that was generated. So I have the prompts here. I sent the prompts to Lovable. Lovable created a bunch of stuff, but then I connect to my GitHub. I do the analysis, and then the analysis will tell me, okay, this was built, this was not built yet. This one you have to build, and it will give the direction to what must be done. Okay. Sometimes if you get a prompt that is a big prompt in Lovable. So let me show you this one here. That was the last one that I sent. This prompt here was generated using ScopesFlow. So it's a big prompt. This prompt basically gives all the information that the AI needs to be able to create this feature specifically. So it gives first, of course, the summary of the app and what this feature wants to accomplish. And then here we can see the details of these features. We have the problem statement. We have the solution that we are the solution that we are bringing with this feature. Then we have a couple more technical stuff because we have the overview, we have the components that we have to build, then we explain the AI how to build it. We have here some the UI components that we need to do to build. We have some the data schema that we want to use. So this will basically give Lovable all the information that it needs to create this feature. Okay. And this is important because you will save in messages in Lovable, because to prompt this by yourself, you'll probably spend like 27 messages. And here with 20 messages, I can show you the settings here. With 20 messages, I was able, exactly 20 messages, I was able to build this app that I will show you now, while I can explain a bit more why I think they're important for non-technical people to understand why GitHub is important. So usually when we create something, we create a product in Lovable or any other AI tool, what happened is that we are building something on our own, that we are not a technical person. We're building something that at some point, if we trust what we are building, we will need some help. we'll need another developer or a designer. And what we don't want is to have a developer that never worked with Lovable to come and learn Lovable to then start working on our projects. What we want is to give them the code, then they will figure it out with whatever tool that they want to use, what they need to do. Okay, this is why it's important to use GitHub. Also, with GitHub, will be more safe. Not that Lovable is not safe, but like I said, having your code in multiple places will just give you safety of, okay, if something happens in Lovable, I have GitHub. Something happened in GitHub, I have downloaded the code is then living in my Google Drive. So if you're building a business, okay, imagine this is your business, you're building a business, a real business, then you need to think about this stuff. You can't just go ahead and just start prompting and just forget that this is a business that you're building. But here we can see that only using the prompt from ScopesFlow, I was able to build this app. This app is just something that I'm trying to build. This will be a template, so everyone will have access, but this is something that I want to build for myself, because usually when I'm trying to create content, what happens is that I end up losing myself, or I have a brief idea what I want to do, but I need to take references. And I I'm very used to do this on pen and paper, and is becoming more and more painful for me, because it, with the speed that things are happening, it's very hard to write it down everything that we want to do, that we want to create, and related to content. And if you go ahead and lose a day or 2 days, you can lose a new model, you can lose a new feature that was mounted, and then you have to relearn. So with this project, what I wanted to do is just create a visual way for me, like a bit. School is my dad, just to make things clear here. I wanted a visual way to also create my content. So the idea is just to have multiple nodes. Um, I have the first, let's say the first brief idea of what I want to write or what I want to record, and then take these, add multiple um, references for from different posts from different people and other ideas. Maybe something could be a YouTube video or article that I read. I have on say LinkedIn or X. Then I would add everything in here. I will ask to generate some angles. With this, I can then start drafting my content. Uh, for some people, this can be okay. I just want to go and write. If you want to go just um, write content or create content, and you think that is, I have the gift. I don't need to plan. I don't need to think about what I want to write or what I want to record. Then go ahead. This is something that I need for me. And then again, this was alterated using ScopesFlow. If we come here and we see the generated, I added a couple of different references, and it generated the visual style. So this visual style that we have here was based in these references. Okay, now back to what I wanted to show first. Here we have now our GitHub repository. We have here the main garden state, garden state. If we come here, connect, we have now connected our ScopesFlow project to our GitHub repository. And what we can do, we can just see all the files that we have, all the code that we have. So everything that is living in our GitHub repository, we can view from here. This is not being saved in ScopesFlow, so this is not for you to have like a backup of your code, but because this is directly connected to GitHub. This is using GitHub API to just bring what we have and displaying it here. Okay. Then what a feature that we have here is just to ask to analyze our repository, and here we have everything that was already built. What is missing from our app? We have some actions to take. like implement the Canvas workspace. We have the Canvas workspace, but it's not completed. We don't have a reset password. We don't have the job generator to edit our jobs. This is specifically for this app, of course. Then we have here some security um, tips that we have here. And then every time that I change something, I just come back here. We can see the analysis. Okay, this analysis will be saved. And if I change a lot of stuff into my project and I want to come back and analyze again, I can click here and it will analyze. Okay, every time that I do this, it will be this ScopesFlow is based on in messages. So you have 50 messages in the start of the plan. Every time that you chat or every time that you ask to analyze a project, every time that you generate a prompt, it will consume your message. Okay. Um, okay, this is what I wanted to show in this video. I hope this was helpful for people to understand, from you to understand why and how to connect to our GitHub repository. But most important, how is easy. Lovable helps a lot. But to understand why this is important, why you should have your code, your Lovable project connected to GitHub, even if you want to use Lovable for the rest of your life. Okay, so thanks for staying with me until now. If you like this video, please make sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more about more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll leave all the links in the description, links for my social media, links for ScopesFlow. I'll also give a coupon, a discount for people who want to use ScopesFlow. I'm not sure for how long I will leave this discount, but I'll leave a discount for first month, first month for free. Okay, so we have 100% discount in the first month, and make sure to go there, use ScopesFlow, come back, leave in the comments what you think, send me a message in social media. I would love to chat with you about what do you think about ScopesFlow, what do you want to learn more about, share the Lovable cursor or whatever. So thank you, and I see you in the next one.